You being scammed during a sales call, like during the process of someone trying to make the sale to you for a product or a service, is easier than you may think. And it depends on the state of mind that you're in. And it also depends on the skill set of the person that you're on the phone with trying to sell you. Now, in other videos, I'm going to be talking about I want to talk to you about the drive of actual salespeople to get you to buy. Because when we talk about this whole sales process, and I'm going to walk you through step by step how a masterful salesman or salesperson will get you to buy, right? So there's a couple of steps here. The first and the main thing that happens on any of these sales calls, we call it a discovery phase, right? And in this discovery phase is actually where the sale is made most of the time. And it usually happens within the first 25 to 30 minutes of the call, where the salesperson is actually basically just asking you questions. But there's a method to the madness. There's a reason why they're asking these questions. So in the discovery phase, and if you've ever been on a sales call with a masterful salesperson, you'll recognize these steps, but you'll probably recognize them better if you've been on a call with someone that doesn't know how to sell well, because they don't have that skill set yet. But in the discovery phase, which is where the actual sale is made, the first thing that a salesperson wants to do is get an understanding of why you're even on the call. So they may say something like, hey, I know you clicked on an ad and you booked this call with us today. What about that ad made you book the call? You're about to spill the beans. You're literally about to spill the beans. Now, I'm not telling you not to be honest about why you booked a call, but I'm telling you that you're giving the ammunition, the initial ammunition that salesperson needs in order to close you at the end. Because what they want to do with that, once they find out why you booked the call, now they want to dive into the pain. They want to find out what is the problem or problems that you're trying to solve. You know, it's like, wow, okay, so you were interested in XYZ from the ad. Can you tell me a little bit about, like, what is the problem you're actually trying to solve? And they say it kind of just like that, right? That like they're inquisitive about the whole thing. But this is a part of being a masterful salesperson. You've got to dig into the pain of the problem. And when they start digging into the pain of it, whatever it is that you say is the pain of the problem you're trying to solve, they're going to dig into that just a little bit more to make you feel it. That's what's going to happen. They're going to dig into it a little bit more to make you feel it and ask you questions like, wow, that must really be affecting your day. I mean, how is that making you feel? Like, what's actually going on in your business right now? How are you feeling about it? Right? And, oh, well, if this pain doesn't get solved, like, what's going to happen here? Right? So you've got a masterful salesperson is going to lead you directly along the path that they want to lead you. And by the way, a masterful salesperson has to maintain control of the conversation. They cannot let you get control of the conversation at all. They will direct the call and ask you questions and basically lead you in that direction. But for you to ask any question during this phase, here's what you're going to get. We're going to get to that. I've got some really good things to show you on that, but let me just kind of go through this here with you just so that I get a clear understanding of even if we can help you or not. Now, what are you going to say to that? Oh, okay. I'm sorry I interrupted you. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, keep going. That's a way to maintain control from the salesperson's perspective of what's actually going on. And so once you've dug into the pain a bit or a salesperson has dug into the pain and they feel like they've made you feel it, they feel like, okay, I got them right where I want them. I literally have them in the palm of my hand. Now what you want to do is you want to let them know that what they're doing is going to fail. That's what they're going to do. They're going to take you right into the horribleness of this whole thing. Look, if you keep doing this and you keep feeling this way, you know this isn't going to work, right? You realize this is not going to get you where you want. You think it's probably time for you to actually look at a change, especially since you've been doing this for so long and dealing with this for so long? What are you going to say? Of course you're going to say, yeah. Of course your mind is going to go to, man, I hope this person really has a solution for me here, because I really need to get out of this pain. I really need to get away from this. And so now what the salesperson wants to do is they want to future pace you. They've taken you to the valley. Now they want to take you to the mountaintop. And how they do that is like this. They'll say something like, you've been dealing with this for a long time, but I just want you to think here. I mean, if you had all of these problems solved and you didn't have to worry about this anymore, let's just say a year from now, if we hop back on a call, all this stuff is fixed. What would your life look like at that point? What do you envision your life being like? Now they've got you thinking about the possibilities. Now they've got you talking about the possibilities of what can happen and what can go on. Once they've taken you to the mountaintop, the only thing left to do is to show you how all of this can work with like 3 to 4 steps. They know your pain, they know the problems you want to overcome, and they know where you want to get to. So guess all they have to do? They don't have to talk about the program. They don't have to talk about what's in it, all that kind of stuff. All they have to do is say, look, we're going to solve, and they're going to list those 3 to 4 things they're going to solve for you. And tag on so that you can get to whatever that end goal is that you saw in the future, right? And you told them about. That's what they're going to sell you. Now all they have to do is do some simple math with you and say, okay, if we do this, we plug this in, we're going to increase your revenue by this just by making these couple of changes, and then we're going to do that. All they have to do then is close you. And you want to know how they close you? They ask you, any other questions you have? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you think this solution will work for you? Like how confident are you that it'll work? And if you give them anything less than a 9, they're going to go back and start again at some point by asking you more questions around what else you feel like you need solved. And they'll circle back and do this as many times as it takes to get you to a 9 or a 10, right? Because they'll even ask, if you say, oh, I feel about a 7. Oh, wow. Okay, so this isn't really something you really thought would work. And then you'll defend it. Well, no, I think it would work. I just have some more questions. Oh, great. All right, so what other things do you feel that you need? They're leading you. You think you're leading them, but they're actually leading you through the entire conversation, right? Now, once they get through that, you're a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. What's the next step you want to take? That's what they'll ask you. And then you'll say just a few things. There's just a few different things you may say. Well, I think I want to go ahead and do this. What's the price? Right? That's the main thing people will say. Or you say, well, I think I might need just a little bit more information. They'll circle back and they'll do the whole thing again, right? Because they realize they haven't done a good enough job. But if all you ask for is the price, here's what they'll say. Let's say the package is $10K that you're buying. And you say, well, how much is it? You've already said it's a 10 out of 10. What they're going to do then is say, after you ask, what's the price? They're just going to say this. It's 10K. And they shut up. Because they know that the next thing that is said by you is going to direct them to the next thing they should say. You've heard that old adage, whoever speaks first loses or whatever. I mean, true or false, I don't know. But in that moment where you're thinking, a masterful salesperson will not interrupt your thought process, because in that moment, you're trying to convince yourself of doing it, and they know that. If there's any objections that come after that, they'll handle those or whatever. But at that point, it's almost a done deal for you that you want to do it because you've exposed your pain, you've felt your pain, and you've done all this stuff. This is how the psychology of making a sale actually works, because we know that human beings, we all buy based on feeling and emotion. We want to think we buy based on logic, but we don't. That's why they take you through emotional things during a sales call. Now, in the hands of we'll just call it a righteous salesperson, they may use some of these tactics in order to get you to purchase a product that they firmly know and understand will solve your problem. But because of the motives of most salespeople, which is to get the cash and make the money because they're living off of commission, most don't care. They just want the money. I want you to thoroughly understand that, because in the next video that I do, I'm going to talk to you about the motives behind the salesperson that is selling to you over the phone. If this has been valuable, definitely give me a thumbs up, but I definitely want you to be on the lookout for the next video that I put out, because I'm going to expose even more about how you're being manipulated on sales calls. I'll see you on the next video. You take care.